Welcome, everybody. Really thank you for joining us today, and we really appreciate that you're staying with us for the afternoon. And this session today is digital transformation. It's all about the data and the user experience. So the focus of the session, as you can imagine, is about the data. So what I'd just like to mention a couple of things that we're going to cover during the session, and that is the power of operational data and analytics. So it's really about operational data. We're talking a lot about data platforms and also analytics and analytic tools. And ultimately, at the end of the day, and this is just meant to be very high level, setting the stage for the session, because I want to go through it really rapidly because I want you to get to the user cases because I think these people are terrific speakers. So anyway, big data by itself, and we keep having more data, as you know, it's virtually useless unless something is done with it, whether it's a technology or whatever, but you have to make some kind of sense out of it and get insight that delivers value to the organization. So at the end of the day, it's really about getting real-time, actionable decisions. So just a little bit, we might mention a little bit about the IT-OT convergence, but more around not as much of the technology as around the user experience. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And so we're also going to talk about the data challenges and opportunities. And there's a lot of data challenges and opportunities. And what we hear about data, we hear a lot of things. We hear, is the data connectable? Is it, and that's a big thing. Connectivity has not been easy, as you know. It's been years trying to get all the data connected, and we still hear about silos of data. So today we still see spreadsheets out there. Is it actionable? Is it consistent? Is it quality data? And security data. So there's a lot of different things going on. And the other thing that we're hearing about as a trend is the auto updates. You know, going to an autonomous environment, like auto recognize, auto governance, and so on. And we're also hearing a little bit about using AI algorithms and ML algorithms, and they're getting better, these algorithms. So that's just some of the data challenges, but there are also opportunities. And a lot of people, what they do is they look for the problems and solve these problems using the data. So the other thing, the area that we heard about, trend, is about collaboration and collaborative teams. It's really about the user experience and the alignment of the user, the people, the data, and the technologies, because they need not just to be connected, but they need to be interconnected and interoperable. They also need to have an aligned thinking of collaborative minds. And it has to be distributed across the globe today. So we need to see more enterprise collaboration. So, and the other thing, that trend that I see, is people keep talking about user experience. How can I use this technology easily? Can I look at it at a glance? Is it easy to use? Is it simple to use? And what I say is user experience plus the easy use equals how it'll get used. If it's easy to use, people don't have to get out a manual and start relearning the technology every time they use it, or they don't have to start saying, how do I do this, or how do I do that? They will use it. And some of that's cultural too. There's some culture involved in this, we could get into a lot of details, but we're not going to get into that today. So we're also seeing, as a trend, multi-cloud and also what they call enterprise historians. Some people call them data platforms. We're also seeing newer types of platforms with seamless integration that are interoperable. We're hearing about low code, no code. The Microsoft guy said that he didn't see a lot in the survey, but I do the data historian space, and I also do the MES space, and I was hearing over and over again about these newer low-code, no-code platforms. And the scalable and security. And so those are just some of the things that I was hearing along with the enterprise historian. So thought I should show you a little bit of data. We do a lot of research at ARC, and some people don't know what kind of research we do, but I do the data platforms, and this is from my data platform study. And so we look at, we forecast with algorithms and analytics, and we look at where the market is, and we collect revenue. So we do it by revenue, so it's pretty good numbers. And you can see that by the market here, you can see that the electric power gen, the chemical, and the oil and gas industry are the largest industries, just by the size of the bubble. So in the next 5 years, you're going to see those are the industries for opportunities for the suppliers for data platforms. Those are the industries that are the largest. And there are some other industries as well. And the fastest growing is over on the right-hand side here. You can see that the fastest growing is refining and oil and gas. So we also look at the types of industrial data platforms, the types of data that's being stored on them. And of course, the bulk of the data is the structured process data, which is tag type data. But we're also seeing other types of data being integrated into the data platforms, like multi-dimensional data as well as unstructured data. So that gives you an idea of what we're seeing. And we're also seeing the data, the growth of the data, the largest data. This is the wrong presentation, but we're seeing don't pay attention to the words on the right because it's for the next slide. So, but anyway, we're seeing the largest data is, you can see on the right, it's the unstructured it's unstructured data, which would be your videos, photography. Those are the type of things that we're seeing growing the fastest. And the largest, of course, is the on-premise structured, not on-premise, but the structured process data. But we also look at the cloud and the deployment models, and what we're seeing is the fastest growing, of course, is the cloud. Of course, the largest area for on-premise today is on-premise for historians. So essentially, there's a lot of benefits in the data, and that's really why I think most people are here, because there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of benefits. And what I tell people is you need to invest in data because it's really the data that's going to get you into the digital transformation. And that's really what it's all about. It's the data management and the analytics. And so it's really all about the data and the user experience. And so that's kind of my message to set the stage for our presentations today. And so what I'd like to do, and that's all I was going to say today. I wanted to be quick because I thought that it would be better to get our speakers up here. So with that, I'd like to call our first speaker up, who is Chris Glenn, who is with Phillips 66. And their bios are all on the app, so you can check them out if you want to.